What's up everyone, it's your friend Backspace and we're here with some more guidance. Now today I'm just going to share some basic information about a nutrient dense food that's called sea moss. Now this is sea moss in its rawest, driest form, right? But it has mad minerals in it. It has so much nourishment that you could literally just fast and just have sea moss and detox yourself, maybe lose some of that weight that you've been trying to lose, and it gives you a lot of energy. Now, I've learned about sea moss from someone very special, someone who's very informed about diet. His name is Dr. Sebi. Now, if you look him up, it's Dr. SEBI, and he's a doctor from Honduras. He was a doctor. Now, he gave a lot of information about a lot of alkaline foods, a lot of nutrient rich foods, and how you can heal yourself. And I took that information and I want to share it for all you dancers out there, whether you're up and coming and you want a little edge, or whether you need that edge just to keep rocking, you know what I mean? But this right here is its purest form. Well, it's one of the pure forms. What I mean is by raw, dry, you get this from the ocean, hence the name sea moss. Now there's a lot of different variations of it. There's I don't even know, there's Jamaican this, Irish that. Now there's a whole list of them, and there's always going to be people that are like, well, this version is better, that version is better, and this might be right. Just do your own research. I'm just going to give you the basics. You can literally either, go online and Google it, or even check it out on Amazon or something like that. Once you dial up sea moss, it's going to give you a lot of information. This is what it would come like in a package. A typical package will come with all of it dried up. Some of it might have some sea salt on it. Some of it might be bleached up. That's why it's white. Not like that chemical type of bleach. Once again, do your research. This is just a basic for those who want to learn about it. Now, if you're just basic like me, you want to at least get a little bit of knowledge, just enough to give you that edge. I know some people want to know enough, but they don't want to go crazy into something that's going to just take them off of the topic of the reason why they're either looking at this product in the first place or this beautiful thing here. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to soak it up with some water. Now, because this is so nourishing, you want to use something nourishing as well, such as spring water. Now, it's bad enough that people don't drink enough spring water, or some people want to ask or talk about distilled water, this type of water, alkaline this, that, the other. There's a difference between buying things that are good for you and buying products that are supposedly good for you. I advise you to check out and do your own research, right? But right now, I'm just keeping it typical spring water. From where I'm at, this is very popular, Poland Spring, right? Now, all we're going to do is take it, whether you take it out of your package, or I took the package off to avoid any of, the whole trying to advertise something. Just look for your sea moss, whether it's natural, grown, through laboratory or whatever some people might want to call it. Just do your own research, see what you prefer, what's best for you. Once again, this is basic. You get your sea moss, step 1, right? Step 2, you want to get your spring water. You want to have a mason jar or something clean that you want to put it in. All right, I don't mean clean like put chemicals inside of a container and wash it out, because now you're going to have, chemically filled sea moss. And just because you have some good, a lot of people aren't really taking into account that you're also putting bad by doing things like that. So just keep it basic, keep it natural, and you're going to be all right. So we're going to take the sea moss here. We're going to put in a little bit of the spring water, right? Just enough to get that in there. The thing about sea moss is when it gets wet and it absorbs the water, it gets very fluffy and it gets bigger. So I'm just going to put a little bit here. All right. Now, when it's raw and dry, as you can see, it's a little difficult to separate, but that's all right. You do a little fighting with it, or you get some scissors, and you'll be okay with that. Now, you saw how much I had, and now we put some in there. Now the first thing you want to do is just rinse off some of that salt, some of the impurities, the whatnot. You know, when things get packaged, you never know what happens to it, right? So you take a little bit and you get the right size for your lid. Let's just do that here. There we are. Put that in there. Now, as you can see, it's already getting fluffy in there. It's absorbing the water. But as you shake it up and see, I'm not sure if you could see that there, but it's going to be very salty water because that's all of that that's swishing around in there and getting it out. So I would say get that out of the way and done. Pull that out right here and just let that spill right there. Now you've taken a lot of the salt and some of the impurities out, right? Now you're going to use the rest of your water right there. You're going to fill that up or whatever. Look at that, it's perfect. Now, just going to close that up here. I'll put this in another jar, maybe the smaller one here. But for now, with this, we're going to just keep that, let it soak. Some people have opinions, just like everyone else. Let it soak for 6 hours. Let it soak for a whole night. Let it soak for 2 hours. Whatever it is, it's your preference. Just know that the more you leave it out there, the more it absorbs. But obviously, too much of anything can be bad. So give it a few hours though. Let it sit there. Just look at it. Once it starts to look like, you know, some kind of like soup or noodle-ish thing, almost like ramen noodles, then you know that it's almost ready. So for now, we're just gonna let that sit right there, and we'll just come back to it, you know, whether in a few hours, whether in an hour, tomorrow morning, whatever happens, we'll just see what happens. All right. Alright guys, so we're back. What I did is boiled some water, basically like 1 bottle of spring water. Just throw that in there, that water, and heat it up. Once it started bubbling, I basically threw the whole contents of the sea moss and even the water that was with it. Just dump it all in there, grab a fork, and just stir it. You got to keep your eye on it because it will expand depending on how fast or how hot it will cook. So you don't want to cook it per se, because you're gonna like eliminate the nutrients. In fact, some people don't even believe in heating this up. They would just say blend it, just take it from here to the blender, and they are satisfied with that. I find that when I heat it up a little bit, it makes it softer and it becomes more gel-like, and it's easier to put the gels into anything you like, you know, like protein shakes, or just eat it as a snack. It's kind of tasteless. It's like a tasteless jello type of snack, but you take in all those nutrients and you can have it with whatever's sweet, whatever you prefer, whatever's on your diet list or whatnot. I like to have it also with coconut water. It's really good. It adds that sweetness, and because coconut water also has nourishing qualities and nutrients, it's just like, you know, a good partnership between the two. But also I really do add it to protein shakes. It gives it like a good, you know, it's a dynamic duo, so to speak. Whether you believe in protein or whether you believe in, you know, your body's electric, so you're taking all your minerals so that you can conduct that energy. In either case, it's going to be good, whatever you believe. So that's it. And now I see that it's heating up a little bit. Just keep your eye on it. And we'll let that sit right there. Now when you make this, and when you're finished with it all, you are going to need more than one, because although we started with 1, you're probably going to end up having 2, 3, or more, depending on how much water you use. Water is good to have it to expand it, but if you put too much water, in my opinion, it makes it more runny, more watery. You know, imagine like watery jello, if that, if that can be conceived in your head. You know, that idea of kind of like drippy, yucky jello. And if you're not a fan of sea moss, you're going to feel that way anyways. And it actually might be easier to have it that way. But for me, there's just a better consistency. Now, it's basically done right now. What I'll do is I'll just shut it off, let that sit there, but it's still heating up. So even though you shut it all off and everything, you want to keep your eye on it, because if not, it will expand. You're gonna have this big cloud and a little mess happening. While that happens, I'll pull out the blender, because what we're gonna do next is take the contents, we're gonna blend it, and that's how we'll come up with our sea moss gel. All right. Okay, cool. So it's just about time to make that sea moss gel. I got my blender. You know, people have different choices with blenders. I would recommend a glass blender, because blending hot substances could, melt or alter your blender if it's plastic. This one is plastic, but I'm just using this for the opportunity to share the method that I use with others. Once again, I would recommend a glass blender, but here goes it. We're going to do this. And also, to prevent any burning, if you are going to use a plastic blender, and to keep anything from getting right to the bottom, all of that sea moss, and getting stuck to it, what I do is I add some spring water right there, because now that it's heated and expanded, it's good. You can even like now add some more of that of that water that I said that I would add, and now it cooled it down, and there's more water to be blended in there, so that makes it cool. So now you blend that up there. Now, I am by no means a chef or anything, but I would recommend using towels or or something to protect your hands, and this. But I've done this a lot of times, so I'm just gonna act up and put it over. But even better, you can take this, put it in the sink, so if any drippage happens or anything falls over, then at least it falls into the sink, right? So easy peasy. Get that in there. Woo. Hot, hot. I'll run that there. Put this on there. You want to get to it right away. Now, you want to take the top off of your blender. That way, the steam and all of that can come out. Otherwise, it's just going to be one hot mess. No pun intended. All right. Now, I'm going to just blend it up. Maybe start soft and then build it up. See, as you do it, the smoke and everything will come up, just showing how hot it is. When you feel confident enough, then you could cover it and just go for it. And now people blend it in different speeds, different, whatever you feel like you want to do, just get that blending going. Yeah, I like to see it form. Now there's probably little particles that you might see start to sink again. That's why you just give it another round. Alright, now you want to take off that top part first because the vacuum makes this a little tighter, but at least with the top off, you could work your way until, there it is. Woo, still hot, just be careful. Alright, so we have that there. Now you want to twist before you pull for most blenders. There it is. Now you just pour it right in there. It almost looks like some kind of milk. Now because it's hot and expanding still, you just let it sit there. Like I said, you're going to have a lot more than what you started with. So I'm going to pull out another jar right here. There's two. And this third one, why not? Oh yeah, look at that. Now while that sits there, you're going to wash off everything because if this dries up, it is a little harder to clean up than normal. So I'm going to wash this. I'm going to let that sit there and we'll be back to finish this up. Alright, so the sea moss here is still cooling, but I can basically wrap this up. Alright, so when you take 1 handful of sea moss and 2 bottles of spring water, maybe 2 and almost 3, 2.5, you basically will end up with 3 of these mason jars full. And depending on how much you love it, how much you take it, it could last a little or a long time. Sea moss has a good shelf life, but keep it in the refrigerator. I would say as soon as you make it, you know, once it's cool, start chipping away at it and eat it, because the more you eat, the more healthy you're gonna feel, you're gonna be, the more nutrients and the more results you will get. Like I said earlier, whether it's detoxing, healing, suppressing appetite, because of that fluffy feeling inside of your belly, it's really nice and it's not heavy. It's really good. Now, I have a jar from a previous batch. This is what it looks like when it's complete. Now, I don't know if you'll see it, but the jelly stuff comes up and I might have added a little extra water, and that's okay. You know, you just have that too. Now, if it's really, really thick, you'll see like very thick, almost whitish type jelly. And if it's very, very thin, then it will almost be like a liquidy, like juice thing. But here it's pretty good and strong there. So looking forward to making that, you know, in my protein shakes or having it straight with that coconut water. I hope this helps any of you. This was just a basic how to make sea moss gels. I know that there's a lot of ways to do it, and as I'm learning, I'm just trying to share with others, especially if they just want to know how to make it for basic use and not get into a whole plethora of learning that they're just not ready for yet. I hope this helps all my you know, my dance friends. I hope this keeps you going and motivated. Do what you love what you do. Be inspired. I support you. I love you all more than you'll ever know. Thanks for checking me out. If you have any advice, feedback, feel free to hit me up. If you have any recipes or your own experience with sea moss, I do want to know. I don't know, comment it up and I can either get back to you, or who knows, I might even use an idea that you have. But thanks again.